Okay. You can just let me know when we're live, Meg.
We are live.
Okay. Um, so last session, the characters were introduced. The little world that they inhabit was introduced. We're in the town of Haven to start. This wider world, there is the prevailing belief of an imminent apocalypse, and this has thrown most of civilized society, if not into outright chaos, into a heightened state of fear and disarray. Um, Currently, in the town that you're in, there's three main factions that are attempting to gain complete control of the situation. The party was gravitating towards the commune, but really hadn't sworn their services or I know you had the meeting with the commune leader that you kind of do what you could here and there to help him out. But then attention was kind of diverted by some nighttime reconnaissance of. I had your character name written down, Thomas. Ragnar?
It's correct.
Yeah,
Thomas.
Ragnar. Yeah, Ragnar was flying around in like bird form and found the suspicious movement near the edge of the woods. This led to an engagement with a invading goblin tribe who had already taken a number of farmers hostage and had slain their fair share as well. And you had a successful skirmish in that none of you died, and you did kill some goblins, and you're eventually able to just kind of agree to a ceasefire, and the goblins were heading off in their separate way back into the forest, with you guys kind of licking your wounds on the wood's edge as we ended the first session. Um, so yeah, it is late at night, probably crossed over into the AM hours of the next day after you began the very beginning of the campaign outside of Lord Furwick's estate. So here you all are. I know John had gone back on a mission to rally the guard in the town and had been successful. So he's probably on his way back to the location right now with, I think you had a contingent of about 10 guards. Does that sound fair?
We were past that point.
Oh, Oh, yeah, you had brought them back already. And discovered that there was no battle taking place at the moment for it had ended. So,
Well,
think
no,
that
I
is
had
where...
I had ordered them to go back and get the whole platoon.
Oh, thank you. I had actually forgotten about that, but I recall now. So they're they're on their way. There's some distance between you and the Goblin tribe right now, and the ensuing conflict that had happened did allow two hostages who have now seen that the goblins have lost track of them to kind of hurry out of the woods and join your ranks. Just looks like two of the farmhands or maybe one of the household members has escaped from the goblin encampment in the confusion. So goblins likely still have some hostages, but that may be an acceptable loss. We'll begin the session here. You've got the gratitude of two of the freed prisoners who reunite with that younger child that you had taken away successfully, Mace, and the three of them are in a group, and they turn to you saying, "You think the farm's safe to go back to?"
It depends on what you'd consider safe. I don't trust those goblins, but up to you.
We were going to take a look and see what possessions might have remained, and probably head back into town for at least a couple of days while things get sorted and we know that they're gone.
I think you will be okay for now.
Okay, well, we'll see you at one of the taverns, perhaps, and we can scrape together what reward we can for what you've done for us. And they run back to the farmhouse.
Well, that was terrible.
Yeah. Hopefully, you guys kept track of your current HP and other such things, because I know some of you had significant wounds that have not been allowed to heal with rest.
I have kept track.
Good.
Yeah, I think Ragnar got hurt more than the two of them.
Right.
Oh man, is it Makoro?
Yeah,
Something
That's right,
close
Makoro.
to that.
or you can say Mac as we did last session.
Thomas clearly is unable to speak with us.
Hey, Ragnar.
Hello.
Welcome back. Okay.
So we have Mac and Regs. Got it.
Yeah, and I know Ragnar had kind of a partially catastrophic shapeshift that had led to him taking some damage.
I think I was partially healed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you had
I-
brought comfort to him.
Yep, I think I healed each
Yeah.
of them once during all of that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's the situation as it stands.
They back in the bush, and we're waiting for the guards.
Correct. As far as I know, I mean they've left. They agreed with me that uh, they understood that many more guards were coming, and so they kind of licked their wounds and left, not risking more death.
Like, did they like flee, or they're just like back to the edge of town?
Well,
I know not. Yeah, I know not where they initially come from.
yeah, you got the impression. It's been a while, but the goblin who kind of spoke, one of you could speak goblin.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, you got the impression from him that he was going to be taking his band and leaving the area after this. So,
Okay.
yeah. How that affects your thinking, if it does at all, that's.
I mean, obviously, we probably now that the 10 we're gonna come back with more. We should wait. Maybe the goblins will still be watching from afar to see if I was telling them the truth. So, might as well see this through and then, I guess, head home. And I don't know if either we report or get some sleep and deal with the rest of it in the morning.
Yeah, take as much credit as you can.
I'm tired if anybody else is, so I'm gonna head back to John's place.
John's flop house for weary adventurers.
In character, do we know if the guards are coming back?
I think John's apprised you of what he's done.
So John is still here.
I'm at the farm.
Yep. So you guys can join John, or he can join you via a leisurely little walk.
I suppose we should wait here. And now I think we made a deal with the goblins that we would not attack them, but we didn't say anything about the guards. So I think we can let them finish the job without breaking our word.
All right.
That's an interesting philosophy. I like that. So yeah, sounds like you guys can go hang up your hats in the entryway of John's house tonight.
I was one, I think, staying in the inn.
Oh,
But-
okay. You can go back to the inn.
Yep, I will go back to the inn.
All right. Well,
I might mosquito form for a little bit just to oversee.
oh,
What
don't
happens?
to be a spectator in the things to
I don't-
come.
I don't want to wake up and there's like goblins in the streets or something. I don't know.
Right. You don't want your knife or your throat cut over the night. I understand. And John, what do you think your intentions are?
I'm waiting to point the guards in the right direction.
All right. Well, Mac and Mert head back for sleep. Eventually, a contingent of 30 guards return to the farmstead. I think since you are shape-shifting, that does require the invocation of a move, Ragnar. Or
Yeah.
is that... That might not be the case, by the way. I'm just trying to see if I
Um,
remembered correctly.
It is a move like to determine how many.
Holds?
Yeah, but I guess
Okay.
so. It wasn't
Yeah,
depending on combat.
I
or
mean,
anything, like
I can kind of
controversy.
picture that this form you're in, like it's literally just for surveillance here.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
the point is, shapeshifting always has a chance of failing.
Right.
Okay. Actually, I don't think it does. It's just one hold.
Yeah, again,
Six
you're
events.
linking the official Dungeon World stuff, not the hack that we're using.
No, I'm using the Unlimited Dungeons PDF.
Right, but how did you link that into Roll20?
Oh, I don't know what happened there. I I didn't mean to roll with that. I was trying to I was trying to see if they'd show me a description there, but yeah. So never mind the chat.
I won't. Okay. That is not a failure. I don't even need to know what it says in Unlimited Dungeons to know that much.
It's like 2 holds.
Okay. You are mosquito form. And John, as I mentioned, the contingent of guards are here. They, a lot of them are distressed to see the damage done to the farmstead, and note that they see some goblin corpses over near the edge of the woods as well. John, what can you tell us?
Well, as far as I know, there was upwards of 40 goblins. My companions handled some of them, but then the rest fled off into the woods.
The woods over yonder, and he points again to the edge of the trees where some of the dead goblins are.
That's right.
Well, we'll make sure that they've left for good, and if there's any stragglers, we'll show them a bit of Haven justice. And with that, he gives a little barking of orders to the rest of the guards. They raise their broadswords and crossbows, and instead of like a huzzah or anything like that, you see them proceed as quietly as they can into the woods in like a tactical formation. So
All right.
they're going hunting for goblins.
I'll head back home.
Okay. Ragnar, I'd like you to roll 2d6. This has nothing to do with your actions. This is just helping me kind of generate something. So please indulge me. Let's see how the guard pursuit goes. Could ask somebody else. Okay, Mac, give me 2d6. Oh, nope, here he goes. There he goes. 7. Okay. Perfectly average. Ragnar, as you view the situation, the goblins were not idle in the time that the battle with them ended, and the large group of guards were coming back. And the band had withdrawn from the forest, save for 2 wounded goblins who the guards were able to catch up to. And they were perhaps even left behind by the main warband as being too weak or a burden to the rest of them. But they could have caused some mischief or perhaps lurked after some hapless wanderers or passersby in that area. So the guards slay these goblins, and that is all the action that you see.
Okay.
With this being observed, it is quite late, and I mean, you could certainly continue doing activities, or you could turn in for the night and get your rest.
That's what I'll do.
Okay.
I'll float through
Can
town again.
let me see if I bookmarked or if I downloaded that unlimited dungeons. There it is. I'm just gonna see if they've modified the recovery. Okay. Yeah, so in the morning, everyone can regain half of your maximum HP. If you
All
need
right.
to. And with the excitement of yesterday behind you, um, all seems, for the moment, well in Haven. The party is united with the exception of Good Mert over at the inn. So perhaps you could arrange a breakfast meeting of some kind if you wish to continue onward as a party and decide what your next step would be.
Well, I'm not gonna go to the inn to eat.
Yep. Would you tender an invitation to Mert, or is that not something John would consider either?
How would I go about doing that?
Well, let's just say you do have knowledge of where he is, John. So
Does
you could
he
just...
have knowledge where I am?
I'm going to say he does.
Then that's all we
Okay.
need.
Mert, you could bring yourself to the doorstep of John
I will do
following
that.
morning.
I will do that.
Humbly. Okay.
Before I leave, Ziggy,
Oh, I see.
I would like to ask the shopkeeper if he's heard, or the innkeeper if he's heard anything interesting.
Well.
So I have a power called Tall Tales.
Okay.
So when I spend some time trading gossip in a community role plus charisma.
Hmm.
Like I want to
gossip.
hear what he knew. I want to
All
hear
right.
what he heard about like last night.
That's fine. But would you be so kind as to give him a little gossip as well? It sounds like...
Well, this is the thing. That if I roll a 10 plus, I can also start a rumor of your own, and it will spread like wildfire.
Okay, yeah. Then go ahead. Let's see
Okay.
how you jockey this one. Okay.
Oop! I only meant to roll it once.
All
There
right.
you go.
I'll accept
It
the
was
first
good either
roll.
way. It was good
Yeah.
either way. 10 plus.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so my rumor, Sean, I give you my rumor first, is that John Smith defeated many goblins last night.
You could have gone in
And
any
his-
direction with that. Like John
Yep.
Smith is a vampire, or John Smith
Yep, I could have. Nope.
is the
He's a
leader of the
I'm
goblin.
I'm building his legend, Ziggy.
All right.
So I want them to know that John
Even
Smith
though he's
was
a
at the
known
forefront.
pacifist.
Yep. How you defeated it is not in my detail. Just you defeated those guys.
Okay.
It doesn't mean you killed them. It just means you defeated them.
Rumor that John Smith defeated many goblins. It is established.
A rumor is a rumor, right?
Yeah. I've got the name of the inn that you're at. You're at the Lion's Paw. Yep.
Lion's Paw. Okay.
Yep. And the general... what's this? Yep. Okay. So Fergus, the innkeeper, he's polishing his mug. It looks like it's the last mug to be cleaned from the previous evening, and he offers you some oatmeal while you're telling him this, and he
Alright.
says, "Old Johnny boy, I always knew he had it in him. I tell you, he's going to be a name for the history books. I'll be sure to spread the word that John is not one to slouch from a good fight."
Perfect.
Now, as far as what I've been hearing, well, I saw you were talking with some folks in here last night, and it's no secret that I'm sympathetic to those folks with the Commune of Hope. But we get all kinds in the inn here, and so I also hear a little bit too about some of those other factions, as they've been calling them lately. So, seems like you're gonna be ready to leave soon. So let me just ask you, which one would you care to hear about? I've heard a little bit about both: the Church of the Golden Hand, of course, and then the Mayor's Boys.
I think the mayor's voice is probably more interesting for me.
All right. Well, as you know, 2 days ago, there was that little bit of a riot right in front of his estate, and I think it was 6 dead and 24 wounded from that. And ever since then, they set up that whole little compound there to better defend the zone, as it were. Sounds like John had some success passing through there, though. I know some of the guards came to his aid. But anyway, I know the mayor would like nothing more than for this commune of hope to just go away in any shape or form. And as you may guess, I wouldn't like to see things happen that way. I think deep down they're fighting for a good cause here, but I don't necessarily want to see a big bloodbath where it takes all the good folk in the town to overpower the guards and the mayor. So hopefully, I don't know how long you guys are planning on sticking around, but it would be nice if we could find some sort of peaceable solution to things before all is said and done.
I will try to do that. I prefer that as well. I would
Yeah.
prefer not bloodshed. Obviously, 2 dead and you said half a dozen
Yeah.
wounded. That's
Yeah,
those goblins last night, it got hairy there as well. So
yeah. It seems like we're going to be Haven's being chipped away at, and something could give way if things keep going on like this.
yeah, that would be terrible.
But of course, Mert, as you well know, you, John, and all of your compatriots are always welcome to raise a mug over here.
Well, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Well,
And-
I'm gonna be on my way. It was good talking to you.
Okay. You make it over to John's house.
All right, I'm there. I knock on the door.
Yep.
Some Foley knocking happens. It's Mert. Is it all right if I come in?
Yep.
All right. I go in. How you fellas feeling this morning?
Sleeped.
Well rested.
Well, I'm right as rain.
Good. I could see that, John.
I know last session John had indicated about getting out of town. And so I have, regardless of what you guys plan to do, I do have some information that could be learned by the party if they do want to head off in one of the cardinal directions. But that is, of course, up to you guys to decide where your destiny lies.
Are we giving up on the commune?
That's something you must decide.
What's our latest lead on that?
Well,
So, yeah. Oh,
we
John, if you
were,
know, I'd rather you say it. Yeah.
I told them to talk to some of the farmers, but at least one of the ones I was supposed to talk to is dead or missing, I believe.
Yep, the goblins had attacked his farmstead.
So things don't look too good.
Hmm. So they need a new leader.
Well, we need farmers, and then we need proper protection for the farmers. It's a lot to orchestrate.
Yep.
If we do nothing, I wonder what will happen in this town.
Well, with the world ending, I'd kind of like to get out there and see it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can agree with that.
I have no problem with that. It's a mess here. There'd be a lot of work to fix everything. There's,
For what?
yeah, I mean, John would be the only person who had the most ties to here.
If John
No,
himself is willing to leave this town, then we as
Then you could just
travelers.
put it behind you. Yep.
I mean, it's a right shame what's happening here, but it's happening around the world. Not much old John Smith can do to save the world.
well then, I mean, I heard some stuff, but if that's the plan, I will leave Haven to itself.
Okay. Now we're gonna quick recall our backstories here. Now, John is a villager through and through. Um, but let's each spend a minute just to recap your backstories, because this is going to influence the information you have of the outside world that I can give to you right now. So, Mac, do you recall kind of how you had yourself set up when we went over it last session?
I believe so. I had taken after my father as a ranger, and so that's what I kind of just like lived out in the wild for a while.
Yes. Okay, so I'm attaching you to information of one of the cardinal directions, the one that is most appropriate. So thank you. Ragnar, do you recall your roots?
Where I come from,
Yeah,
it was like a pack of wandering plains druids,
the Plains Druids, that's right.
and the spirits whispered to me about John Smith. I sought him out.
Perfect. Okay. I've got your direction down. Mert, your history.
Well, we don't really know where I'm from. Like, we didn't really decide that. Obviously, I don't know the bigger world, but I like my bonds. I've traveled quite a decent amount with Mac. Like, I mean, one of mine says, Mac, we've traveled far and wide together. So
Okay.
I must have. I mean, I know my guy as the diplomacy side was like try. He was kind of like one of my options was truly a world traveler. I didn't go. I went diplomacy, but I definitely was one who I'm not from here, but I've come here as things because it wasn't there one someplace completely like got destroyed by when we started. I don't think I came from there, but like
Yeah.
I'd heard of news of something like that.
Yeah, that's the
Alabar, was that?
yes, the big city of on the whole continent has been rumored to have just recently been just utterly destroyed.
So I maybe came here, maybe Mac, Ragnar, and I have a complicated past of some sort. So I mean, I've crossed paths
Yeah,
with that. John is very new to us, and so is Haven.
right.
But
But
something
John
I
would
don't
be
know what led us
acquainted.
here.
Yeah, John would be acquainted with any of Haven's knowledge of like nearby, um, people that they've traded with and things of that nature. So John, yep, okay, yeah. Then I'm able to give some snippets of info here at the onset, and this might help steer you guys in one direction or the other. Just give me like 30 seconds, and I'll start blowing up in the chat.
That's cool.
Yep.
Hey Thomas, what background had you picked? I'm just looking at Druid. I didn't see it in your powers, so that's why I wondered.
It's like a technical thing.
Yeah, well, it was Keeper of the Old Faith, Shaman, or Beastkin.
Beastkin.
Okay, I put all three in there, but I'll delete the one you didn't. Because I was like, oh,
I
these
put it
are...
under alignment.
All right.
I put a note under alignment.
Ah, gotcha.
All right, so the first snippet, you're going to see each little region of expertise comes with 3 rumors that your characters are bringing to the table. So I'm starting with what Mac brings, since he came from the east to come to Haven, and that's where the main like woodlands of the continent are. So there's the overview, and then you'll see like kind of 3 little like rumors attached to that. All right, now I've got something from Ragnar's where he's come from. Since he hasn't come from the city of Elebar, obviously, but this region, he's heard some of the rumors associated with that. John knows some of the rumors of the lands to the west, as that is where Haven is most has had interactions with, for the most part, from traders bringing in different goods and sending goods out that way. And then, lastly, Mert, I'm going to say you picked up some more information about what's going on to the south when you were in the inn with your nice rumor.
Okay. And so this will be what we mull over together.
This
Jobs
is
out.
just, yeah, and again, you shouldn't take any of this as gospel, apart from like
Right.
the little descriptions, but those are some hooks of rumors you've heard about goings on over there. There's Haven does have the benefit of being at a little bit of a crossroads where some stories do come in from anyone passing through. So
Well, John, you want to see the world or it falls to pieces?
Right.
Have you heard anything that you like?
I know of a wizard looking for an experimental volunteer. Perhaps that is your fate.
Well, I've
Turn into a
never
frog before it disappears.
met me a wizard.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of their magic, but I don't think I've seen it.
Could be interesting.
I heard about a giant that was killing a bunch of travelers, but I watched this with those goblins. I don't know if that's what we want to face. I mean, it'd be amazing,
Go
an
hunt a
interesting thing to
giant.
see. It'd be interesting to see, but
It doesn't sound
no,
as fun.
no, and I don't know how he's killing them. He's just with a club, or is he eating them? I don't know if I want that to be my fate or any of yours. So.
Well, I'm interested in that magic sword in the tower.
And I mean, I'm wary of wizards, but for all I know, he's gonna give you the ability to fly or something.
Oh,
Ooh.
and that could solve lots of these challenges because some of them have to do with like scaling things.
Always wanted to fly.
Well, John, you can't at the top of that tower.
It's just a guarantee. Like, you
Yeah,
find this
that's what he's
wizard,
doing.
You're all gonna get the ability. Oh my god!
You're
What
gonna
are
make
you
them all
waiting
fly.
for?
You know what? We'll do
Yeah.
this. How about we go? How about we go to the north? We'll participate in some experiments. If that doesn't work, at the top of the tower, I mean, we could always have Ragnar transform into an eagle or something to carry John down. Or drop him.
Okay, so you're gonna strike north. Sounds like the plan. Now you all do have some money, so
Not
if you wanna-
John.
John, what happened to your money?
He's a broke boy.
Because you
Oh,
guys
I
had
did
divided
get
the
money,
payment.
didn't I?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Where the fuck did I put that?
Here, I can help you. So you guys got
Uh, 0.25 coin is what I have.
so because you had
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
returned
yeah.
the helmet, which is a valuable piece of loot. So you divided a purse of coins that had one weight amongst the four of you. So you've got like a quarter weight of coins.
Well, it's called shiny piece of loot then, right?
No, it's
Says a
it's
valuable piece of loot is worth 3 to 5 shiny pieces of loot.
Okay, because if you look at valuable piece of loot, the first
Yeah.
thing is one weight.
You're right,
worth
but
of,
we divided it.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, right. You guys each have the equivalent of like a shiny piece of loot. Exactly.
Okay.
And now you have opportunities here because you could pool your resources if you want to get something more expensive. Or you all have enough to do a little bit of shopping. And granted, since you've just done a service for the village, this might help you stretch your resources when you go to bargain. But really, in any RPG, the more specific you can be with what equipment you exactly have, the more inclined I am to, maybe not necessarily design the adventure around it that it comes up to be useful, but I think it can help with the immersion and giving you some unique opportunities in certain situations. So you guys can think about what you might want to buy before you leave town, because I will say this to you out in the open. I'm trying to design this particular world to not have population centers all that close to each other. So you'll want to be thoughtful and deliberate when you are in town to stock up as best you can.
I will buy a bag of supplies.
Okay. And this is a good reminder that supplies are the universal equipment currency for doing a number of things in the Unlimited Dungeons module. So I think that's a very practical purchase, John. The shopkeeper, I do have the document here. Let me take a look at the general store. All right. The shopkeeper of the general store is named Wallace. John is one of his first customers of the day. And Wallace says, oh, it'll be a shame to see you go, John. John, are you keeping your departure a secret? Let me take that back.
No.
You might. Okay. He says, well, John, it'll be a shame to see you go, but I always knew Haven wouldn't be able to keep a lid on you all your life. You got to get out and do things. I respect that. I
Yeah,
do thank you for all you've done for us in your time here.
village has been good to me for many years.
So I should I'd like to give you a little something out of friendship as well. Because if you hadn't roused the guards about those goblins and done what fighting you did yourself, there might have been much more damage done.
Well,
And
I didn't do any fighting myself, but
oh, you're too modest, John.
I haven't lifted a weapon in anger in decades.
All right. He also hands you um, a trinket.
Oh,
So you're getting another shiny piece of loot. It's a locket, and he says, "This is said to be lucky, but and let me put it this way. This has come down that old farmstead's family for quite some time. One of them actually pawned it off not too long ago, given the unpleasantness that befell them. Anyway, I gave them their fair share of supplies, even more than fair given their circumstances. But I think I'd like you to have it instead. Now, all they told me was that it brings good luck, but if you really need help in a pinch, open the locket. Then it might not be so lucky anymore, but in the dark hour, could be helpful." So he hands you the locket.
well, that's mighty kind of you.
All right, so you can add a lucky locket to your character sheet.
All right.
You have no idea if the like passive luck is anything at all, or if he just believes it's lucky, but it
Mm-hmm.
qualifies as a trinket. So,
Okay.
all right, John's done his shopping, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless I sell the lucky locket to him.
Yeah, just to get something else in return. Well, here's the thing: there's only one general store, but there is one blacksmith, and you could go to the farmers market. So you could do business with somebody else other than him if you wanted to.
I'm done.
All right. Uh, hopefully you guys have some of the like inventory stuff up, so you might have an idea. Anyone know if they want to exchange their money for something right now?
I didn't look at inventory at all because what I'm going for
Okay.
is like a good gift.
Okay.
Like like a glass of wine, or
Yeah.
those type of things, like something that would be very valuable as a gift or as a
Okay.
token of friendship or something along those lines. So it's more you making that up than the inventory.
Yeah. A shiny piece of loot you could actually exchange for a bottle of wine.
Works. Like an aged one a bit.
Yeah, one of the finer vintages of Haven.
Okay. I will take that. So I'll call it fine wine.
Okay. Um, you got this from one of the farmers in the marketplace, who says
Good.
it was the pride of their most recent harvest, and he was just having trouble finding, the right buyer for it because it's a little bit of a premium item, and given the times, a lot of people aren't certain how to spend their coins. So he's glad he could give it to or sell it to one of the heroes who dealt with the goblins. So
It'll go to good use.
okay.
Do we have use of any like transportation things like a cart?
Yeah, so a horse and cart is the equivalent of a valuable piece of loot. So the coins that you have personally won't be enough for that
Did I
unless
pitch in?
you. What's that? If you pitch in, if you guys pool your money, that's about half the cost. So
What if
there.
we how
Yeah.
how much is just a cart? Like for example, if I was the horse.
Oh, yeah. You guys could pool your coins together to get a quality cart that has a spare wheel.
Hmm. It could speed up.
All right.
It is,
Yeah, I'll hand my coins over to Ragnar.
Okay.
I'll buy a cart.
Okay. In fact, that same farmer family just recently sold one since they're going to be shutting down operations and they just need to get the money to get some things sorted out here. So, yep, it's well maintained. It has a spare wheel, and they wish you good luck as they sell it to you.
Good.
Okay. So with those purchases in mind, how many total supplies does the party have amongst everyone?
3. Oh, you
Got
mean
3.
uses or supplies?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
right.
it goes into as uses.
Yeah, each singular supply has 3 uses. That's correct.
Correct. So I have 1 quantity of that.
Okay, so that's 6 uses between the two of you.
I have 2 uses.
Okay, 8 uses of supplies. And Ragnar, are you carrying any supplies on your person? If you don't see that you do, I'm going to assume that you don't.
I have quantity 3.
Okay, so you've got 11 uses of supplies within the party. Not bad. Okay, so are you guys ready to just strike and head north out of town? Or is there any unfinished business that you have in Haven before you leave? John, you do own a property.
True.
So if you want, you may like to think, maybe John thinks to himself he'll come back someday. But if you don't see that in your future, John, you might want to try and quick sell it, maybe get something in exchange.
Hmm. Who would possibly be able to afford it and would want it?
That might be a move to try and determine that information, finding a buyer. I could see that as a discern realities where John just goes around kind of asking about looking for prospective buyers.
Uh, no,
I'd
I'll
say-
come back.
Okay.
I'll come back before the end of the world.
All right. So I imagine you're just kind of looking around the house one last time, locking things up.
Yep.
All right. John, you feel it in your bones that you haven't forgotten anything as you secure the front door.
Well, let's hit the road.
All right. It is midday. While you had the gist of the directions that I gave you, there wasn't much in the way of specifics. None of you exactly know just how far it is to Elabar heading north. You don't exactly know if it's true that the town has been destroyed, but you've heard that's the case, and you can only hope that your path will run you into that wizard and that tower that is rumored to have the magic sword. So there's a number of variables at play here, but that doesn't seem to be bothering anyone too much. So let me just take a quick look at traveling. It is regrettable, but upon leaving Haven, once you're out of, several mile radius of the town center, you are undertaking a perilous journey through the wilderness. There will be no inns. The weather conditions can be unpredictable, and there are any number of creatures prowling about. So, for your first day's travel, you will need to appoint someone to lead the way of the party as you guys strike off with your horse and cart.
Mac.
Mac! Mac!
Yeah.
Okay, Mac, you've been chosen as the leader.
So I guess I forge forward.
All right. So you're going to need to roll the Undertake a Perilous Journey move, which is modified by your wisdom. And you'll be spending one supply use as a group for the rations you eat along the way. I'll just be keeping track of your supplies from the group, but it would be helpful if each, like one of you guys could volunteer one of your uses of supplies so that it's being reflected on your character sheets as well.
All right, so 2d6.
Yep, modified by your wisdom.
Sounds good.
Why don't you just say you use up one of your supplies as well for this first one since you're leading?
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I think it'll be considered a party possession. Okay. That's an 8. Do you have the move in front of you on your computer screen, Realm?
Yeah, I have it up.
Okay, so you take a look at those 7 to 9 results and make your choice.
That's the GM's choice.
Oh, it is the GM's
Yeah, I
choice.
was gonna say it says GM chooses.
Yep. Okay. Is this one of the ones where it's like listed in there a number of times and some have different because if you guys, oh, I see. Yeah, that's funny. The one I have printed out, it doesn't have the GM, just that little added phrase. Okay, I can pick. All right. I am. I've resolved one of those outcomes. You guys have made good progress on your first day of travel. The sun has grown low in the western sky. You're all a bit footsore, but in a satisfying way, as in you've covered a lot of distance. And you see that you've made a good way from Haven, and you're near one of the main rivers known to be south of Elabar. So, with some luck, you should be only be like a day or two out from the outskirts of the great city. However, in the distance, you do see along the river there is a palisade of staked like a wooden wall and a gate near the shallow part of the river, which bends and stretches for miles and miles in both directions. And you see at the gate, there's clearly something of a little bandit operation. So this could be, in fact, the rumored tollway for travelers heading both directions in this area. So either tonight or in the morning, you're going to have to either deal with this bandit camp or go around them to continue on. As I mentioned, you can see them, but you haven't drawn so close as to kind of like aggro them and cause them to like come forth to make greetings or demand any payment of you. So you've got your options right now, but it has begun to grow dark.
Well, what do you guys think? You want to deal with this when the sun is out and we have a whole day ahead of us, or
can keep walking. If you guys want to rest, we can.
To say.
Does John think he could just head on over and talk things through with those bandits?
No,
And,
I'm not the
no.
diplomat of the group.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Are they
I'm
blocking our way? Like there's
tot-
no way past them.
yeah, I think it's like a little outpost they've built. So you gotta it's like a troll bridge. You gotta go through them.
Yeah, this is something you must
Is there a
decide.
barrier? Like, or is it just like, for example, if we just ran through?
So they've built the palisade at the shallows of the river, where you would be able to wade through cautiously, especially since you have a cart. But at least from where you're standing, in order to cross the river, at least in the nearby region, you're going to need to do some serious fording of the river. So the cart would have to either be abandoned, or you'd have to find some way to like float it across the river.
Yeah, I think
Some Oregon Trail type stuff.
And how many bandits again?
That you could not discern unless you went in closer for reconnaissance.
I could do that, or I don't know if Mac wants to.
I think you cut out.
I could do that. The old mosquito strat, unless Mac is sneaky.
I say we go mosquito.
Okay. All right, let me mosquito it up.
Let's see those dice. Oof. Okay, so what is the fail? Does it give information for a failed shapeshift?
It just means I get one instinct. Which
Okay,
means, like, when I make a move with a result of less than 10, I lose an instinct, so I can only make like one move.
okay. So like, if you were mosquitoing around in their midst,
But
and you
the
made a
GM
move.
also gets to make a move.
Okay, good.
Okay.
correct. So like he can use it
Yeah.
to shapeshift. He gets to hold on to the move to do something. But
And I can choose to take when I shift. So my beastkin background. When I shapeshift, I can choose a stat. Rolls using that stat will shapeshift to have advantage. So I'll choose Dex. And the GM can choose a stat that I'll have a disadvantage on.
Okay. Con. No, actually, let's do strength. Yeah, strength. All right. You squeeze your form into mosquito again.
Are you making a move against me? I don't know what that would entail at a time like this, but
Sure. The moment you do this, a hummingbird flies by and attempts to eat you. So you see this winged mass near your altitude, just above the party, lunging its narrow beak to swallow you whole. What do you do?
try to avoid it.
Okay. Sounds like you're attempting to defy danger.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, this is a situation that involves dexterity. However, you are making a move in this mosquito form. So I think this is going to be
Well, actually,
ending the shapeshift.
am I making a move, or is it making a move against me?
No, you're doing the defy danger.
Yeah, because if you
If-
elected to not make a move, he
Yeah.
would get to do the eating. So, yep.
I think I do get to stay mosquito. I think it's like the next time.
Okay.
It's if
I
he gets
try-
a
if you
9
have-
or less.
If you have to, and
Yeah.
it's like if you have to spend an instinct but you don't have it. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, when you make a move while shapeshift and get a 9 or less, you must spend an instinct or revert back to your normal form.
Okay.
So
Let's see how you do.
9 or less.
Advantage.
Yeah, what
bonus
does advantage
roll
actually
twice.
do in this? I didn't even know.
Is it roll twice?
I'm gonna check.
Or no, is it roll 3d6, drop the lowest?
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
10.
Ooh, there you go.
All right. You dart away from the hummingbird's beak, and it loses interest in you and goes after a swarm of gnats that are floating over the river nearby. So, you seem like you're in the clear for now.
Buzz quietly over to the bandits.
All right. Yep. You're above the palisade. So yep, there's kind of a crude gate that's made on the other side of the river. You can see that there is a shallow section of the river here that would be easier to ford, and there's 4 tents on the other side of the wall. Right now, the bandits are having their looks like their dinner, and you see 7 of them around a bonfire.
And how many are manning the wall? Or what's kind of the setup around that?
Right now, there's still one who's on top of the palisade. Kind of looks like he grabbed some food and is just kind of gnawing on something as he stands there bored. So that adds the total to 8, and it's possible there could be some in the tents.
Okay. And is there like a lever that I see or something that would like open?
They've got a pretty crude system where it's a rope pull to just like move the walls inward to open.
Okay.
Yep.
So then you're saying I just saw like a thinner part of river where we could cross, but is that
Right,
still,
that's
like,
right where they've built their wall on the other side of it. Yeah.
on the other side of the wall?
So I'll make a little sketch.
So the river comes first.
Yes.
Is there like a little bridge?
There's not a bridge. Again, it's just a shallower, skinnier part of the river.
Okay.
Like it would. I mean, from what you could see, it would probably come up to just below your knees there. but then yes, it expands and gets deeper. So it's
And
just
over,
yeah,
like over here.
that it
What
continues
that look
on.
like? Is it like deep, or does it look like easier to cross? Like if I kind of look around for like a possible area to like cross on the side, do I see something like that?
Let me get my eraser out.
Wonder if I should discern reality or something.
Yeah, that you could do to try and find a similar area nearby. So you can go ahead and do that roll. Okay, you don't lose your mosquito form. You can go ahead and ask 3 questions.
What here is not what it appears to be.
Okay. Choose your 3 questions like at once, and then I'll answer all 3 of them.
What here is not what it appears to be. What here is useful or valuable to me. And what should I be on the lookout for?
Okay, thank you. I will type a response to your successful move. There you are.
All right, cool. I'll float back to the party
Okay.
and resume human form.
Okay. It's always a little bit startling, I'm sure, when you come out of mosquito form into human form, unless they're being particularly like on the lookout for you. So you reemerge in their midst.
Fill 'em in with what I saw.
Okay, so my answer to your question is now party knowledge as well. Is that what you mean to say?
Yeah, and I'll
Okay.
tell 'em about like the encampment I saw. There's about 8 of them, and then yeah, that I saw this alternate crossing spot.
Yep.
Well, why don't we just pay the toll?
It seems straightforward enough.
We know they want a toll.
This is the tollway, isn't it?
Yep.
The funds.
Can we afford to? What if they take our cart?
Oof.
Well, we'll deal with that, I guess.
Sure, we can do a Trojan horse scenario. Actually, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. Because you could give me to them as horse, like here, take our horse, and then I just fly away like later.
The Ragnar horse.
It's an interesting idea.
What about the cart?
One of us will just pull it along, I guess.
With John Smith cracking a whip at your back while you pull it around.
Well, unless our bard thinks that he can talk our way through.
I think I could take care of it. Yep. But it's always good to have a backup plan.
It's hard to transition from that plan of talking it through. But yeah, depending on how you kind of come to them, yeah, you could find a way perhaps.
Yeah, that is definitely.
Yeah. Could play out in any number of ways, really.
Well, let's get to going then.
We could cross uneventfully to the northeast.
That would be going a little out of your way, though.
Didn't you say there are crocodiles in this river?
Yeah.
Didn't you say you had a cart?
Well, the cart, I would just forward with it. I've played enough Oregon Trail to know that the cart comes along for the ride.
There's no crocodiles in the Oregon Trail.
Who's getting
Alright.
malaria?
Well, it seems in any of these plans I need to be a horse, so I'll do that.
Seems that way.
It does seem like a good idea. It would be a sneak
Rather than
attack
just move the cart.
if things go bad.
Oof.
Crappy horse.
Those are bad rolls.
One hold still. Say that you'll be leading this procession since you intend to speak with the bandits.
Yep.
Okay. Are any of you going to have weapons readied, or are you going to be coming in peace?
I have no weapons.
Okay. That's got John covered. Ragnar's a horse, so he can't have any weapons equipped. So, how about for Mac and Mert?
I'll be unequipped.
All right.
I will be playing a little tune very
Okay.
quietly.
You've got
as
your
we
most
come in.
important weapon equipped.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and that way it seems less aggressive. It'll be a very pleasant thing.
Okay.
A travel song of sorts.
Yeah. So you are announcing your presence to the bandits.
Yes. That way
Alright,
they're not
yeah.
like thinking
On
we're
edge.
like.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. And then specifically, are all of you on the riding bench of the wagon, or are any of you going to be on foot?
I think from here I will be on foot.
Yeah, John's
I will
on
be like leading Ragnar. Like
The
Yeah.
horse just follows after the music. Is that okay?
Someday a show called Mr. Ragnar.
Okay. And then John and Mac are just riding on the cart.
foot. No, I'm on foot.
Oh, okay. Is Mac going to be on the cart, or is no one going to be on the cart? Is the horse
Yeah,
just
the cart.
going? Okay. I think that's for the best. Otherwise, it would look very suspicious. like where you pull off the tarp from the cart and like 30 soldiers get out and yeah, all right. Well, you guys get to right before the water when suddenly two more bandit heads pop up over the wall, and they regard you. One of them holds up a torch since it is getting dark, and he says, "Oh, hello there, travelers. Um, you're here a bit late. Typically, we don't let anyone through at this time of day, but he kind of looks over. I see 3 of you. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Charming tune you play there. Well, I suppose we can make an exception and open our humble gate if you are willing to render payment.
This is the first time we've come through here. How much? What is the cost?
Well, we keep the surrounding area safe and maintain this little way stop. However, the payment is mandatory to continue along this way. But for a well, I have to think as a DM here.
Yeah,
like with the new
yeah.
loot system. All right, one sec.
Sounds good.
Yeah. He wants the equivalent of 2 shiny pieces of loot for all of you to pass through in peace. So you guys have your reference there. And he says, I'm sure a traveling musician such as yourself will be able to make that thrice more in one night when you make it to your next stop. So we are being perfectly reasonable here.
It sounds, yes, quite reasonable. Let me talk with my fellows and make sure we have that, and then so I just kind of turn and
Okay.
I think I know. I mean, I'm saying this out. I think I know pretty much nobody has any money left, right?
Well, and remember, some things that are equivalent to a shiny piece of loot don't have to be coins that they would likely accept in payment.
Right, right. Of course. Of
So,
course.
like, if you gave them like a weapon and a trinket, that would be like 2 shiny pieces of loot, and they'd let you pass. So,
Lucky amulet. I'm joking.
That's up to John if he
yeah,
wants
it
to
is
offer
up to
that.
John. Yep.
Well, Mert has a nice bottle of wine.
Yes, I will be offering that. Yep. I imagine they will appreciate.
So where is your diplomacy coming into play here?
Well, that's yes.
Like, how are you
That's-
getting us a deal?
Yep. No. That'll come now. All right. So he sees me confer with my friends, and then I turn back and I say, "Coin we are actually lacking, but I have this wonderful wine, the finest of its harvest. From how far away from Haven are we? A day and a
About
half?
2/3 of a day's journey. A
All right.
good, honestly, probably a good 20 miles.
Okay. I kind of detail from
Yeah.
a town. We came north to the south.
Yes.
And I think it's worth our passage. And so that would be that would be my trying to convince him that this bottle I know is worth 1 shiny is definitely worth at least 2.
Sure. Okay. Let's see a
And
parlay.
maybe and I definitely like embellish it that the grapes were the finest that of 10 year of a decade, and you know
Yeah.
it was held in the best of storehouses, and I do all this, like I really
Yeah.
feed into how good this bottle of wine is.
Nope, that is noted, sir. Okay. Well, they you can see like one of the bandits at the gate has just, you can tell he's enchanted. Like he really wants probably some little else in this world than to have some of that wine this very night. So he says, "Oh, sounds like a good deal, boss." And the foremost bandit confers a bit with his fellows for a moment, and he says, "You have a silver tongue there, Bard, and I think you represent yourself well. We do our best here to maintain the passage here and make sure it's safe for weary travelers, and we would agree to the payment of the bottle plus 3 songs of yours while we enjoy it."
That can be agreed upon.
Very good. We will help your cart across the way here, and you see that they begin opening the gate.
Okay.
Okay. Ragnar, are you going to begin fording the river?
Sure.
Okay. The bandits do actually help and keep you steady. It does get even a little bit deep in some spots at their little spot here, but they don't attempt anything and bring you over to the other side of their camp. At which point the bandit leader politely requests the bottle from you, Mert.
I hand it to him.
Okay. 2 more bandits come out of the tents to join in the drinking of the wine. So it looks like they're a band of 10 bandits at the end of the day.
Okay.
They open the bottle. They have some cups that they pass along, and of course the chief gets the biggest draft of as it's being poured. But looks like they all are going to get at least some of the fine wine. And while they remain on guard with you in the middle of their encampment, like none of them are just like tucking their arms, lying flat on the ground or anything. They do kind of pull up seats around the bonfire and expectantly look at you to play some music.
Okay. So my music
My
is
music.
very like telling a story. So
Okay.
so there'll be like the music, like my harmonica, like Blues Traveler is the best person I can think of that's a harmonica player.
Sure.
Like he plays it, but then he sings, and so it's I
Okay.
tell tales of my traveling, especially with Mac, but of what we've seen. So I weave in these tales of like here,
Sure.
scenes and imagery and so on. So that's what the song's very much
Okay.
like, not to bring nightmares, but to bring pleasant dreams.
I
Like,
hope this brings you horrible nightmares. Yeah. Okay. And
So they are.
you're being genuine and sincere. You just
Yep,
want to entertain
yep.
them. Okay. They're delighted by your performance and wish you well upon your way. You've satisfied the toll.
All right. Well then, let's go, gentlemen.
As you're leaving, one of the bandits comes up to your crew and makes mention that about a month ago there was a wizard who came through this way, and he conjured some things for them to pay the toll. He says, "Bard, I think you'd be interested. It's rather interesting. He conjured us. I suppose you could call it. It was a chest, and each time you would open the chest, there was something different inside. And while the thing itself only lasted for a day, everything that we took out of the chest is still here. So he, an interesting chap. He pulls out like this little torn piece of paper, and he says that it's directions to find the wizard. He can't guarantee he'll still be there, but the wizard did make mention to them where he was going to be in case any of them wanted to come by and receive more of his magic. The boss told him that he couldn't go because he had to continue maintaining the toll with the rest of his brothers, but he figured that since he seems to like you, especially the bard, that he's willing to give you this piece of paper with the directions on it.
Okay. Well, Ziggy, I think you know what happens here. I thank him. Oh, of course, my kid has to do that right now. Yeah, I got a drum down here, and he had to come down here, of course.
Okay.
So my story, one of my songs definitely had John Smith. I don't tell them that this guy over here is John Smith, so now he's become more than just man, to my music.
What?
So I kind of detail, like, again, like I did to the innkeeper, but now it's a little bit further than just Haven. But I tell them, yeah, we came from this town, and this great man, he took down, these goblins in such a precise manner. And so I tell them about this. If you ever see a John Smith, spread the word about him. He's a as the
Okay.
world the
Am
world is
I
coming to
here
an
for
end.
this?
But
I would imagine so.
I mean, I would,
probably.
of course, deny all of this.
Okay, so the bandit who brought you the map fragment says, "So you're John Smith."
Yeah, that's my name.
Okay. You're gonna have to do a competing. This isn't a move. This is just for fun. A competing charisma roll off. You versus the bard. This roll is gonna determine whether the bandit believes you or the bard. If he believes the bard, he'll just assume you're just too humble, John, and that's just not your style.
Okay.
So let's see if you can out-tongue the bard here. Ooh, that's not bad.
I'm sorry, my kid was being.
Yep. Can you best that, bard?
What am I trying to do?
Just roll a charisma. Okay. He says, oh, well, I see you do spin some tall tales there, bard. And he chuckles to himself and heads back to the camp. So
I
basically,
try.
Mert, he believed that John actually didn't do any of these things.
Yeah, it's good.
You don't
Okay.
need to be making up tales about old John Smith.
All right.
I'm just
I
a
just see
builder.
I see more in you than you see of yourself, I guess.
And why do you see this?
That's my. That, I,
What have I done to impress you?
Haven thought of you very highly, even though you were only a scribe. I mean, everybody seemed to talk of you.
Well, they almost arrested me.
Well, that is a conflict of we have left behind now.
So we have.
All right. Well, it is about 11 p.m. You guys could just strike out and continue traveling by moonlight, or if you want to make camp now, this is something you must decide. Looks like Mert will be joining the majority opinion since he's stepping away for a moment.
What time is it?
It's 11 p.m.
Oh, that's pretty late.
Yeah, it's John's bedtime.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like John's in support of making camp for the night. I would allow you guys to get a comfortable distance away from the bandit toll before making camp, of course. Is anyone opposed to this, or shall it be camp?
It shall be.
Okay. Then we'll just say exactly 1 mile from the abandoned camp at 11:30. You guys can make camp. That'll be one more use of supplies.
I'll spend a
Now
supply.
you can, yep. Now you guys can take a rest, tell some stories by the campfire, nod off to sleep, and have some.
Well, wait a
food.
minute. Is it so? It's 2 supplies per day? Is that what you're saying?
It's 1 supply to do the journey, and it's another supply to make the camp. So yes, unless you're not making camp in a day, it's going to be running you at 2 uses of a supply a day.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually,
We
I
didn't
wanna
bring many
flash-
supplies.
You'll
Yeah, I
have
would.
to hope that maybe the wizard can conjure some for you, or you find some traveling merchant,
Yeah.
which are both entirely plausible. So I think you guys don't have to worry about that right now too much. So does everyone go to sleep?
I was gonna say flashback. So there's this green X.
It's the green
Was
X.
that like right by the encampment, or was that like?
It's so it. I tried to be as true as I could with my primitive caveman drawing. That it's just a little ways down the river from one of the tents, because obviously this bandit wouldn't be going too far away. But I mean, yes, you are aware of where it is as you were passing through.
So on this map, where would you say the party is now?
Oh, sure.
To scale.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna drag it. There you go.
How long did it take us to get there?
Well, with the cart, about half an hour. But I mean, if you shapeshift, I'm sure you can cover ground nice and quick.
I think I need a night mission.
Because I mean, if you're like, for example, if you're like a bird, you could probably get there in like 3 minutes.
Okay. I guess and it was like a hollow stump, right?
Yep, and you saw him. He stuck something in there and then made his way back to the camp. So
All right.
perhaps some separate treasure. Yep.
I'll turn into a magpie or something. I can
Okay.
pick up valuables.
I like that. That's cool. Maybe you'll get a decent shapeshift roll.
Maybe I won't get moved against. For once.
Right.
Okay,
There you go.
plenty.
All right.
Plenty of instinct.
Yep.
And I'll choose to be a dex advantage.
Okay. I'll give you wisdom disadvantage. Oh no, I don't give you a disadvantage when you do that well.
You do.
Oh, I
Still
still do.
for
Oh,
the
okay.
attributes.
All right, then yeah, we're gonna say wisdom.
Okay.
Your bird perception isn't as sharp as your human perception. Yep, but you still can fly to the stump from memory, no problem. You see that the campfire of the bandits has grown lower, and while they still do have a couple on sentry, the majority of them are sleeping after enjoying the wine. The stump is totally unattended to right now.
I'll descend into it.
Okay. Now it is dark in the stump, and you don't like have like a hand to just like probe in and grab around. So you would have to either kind of do that by going completely into it and pecking around with your beak, or some other manner of extraction.
So how big is the hole?
I mean, it's a tree stump.
Mhm.
It's been hollowed out from like the side. You could just like hop right through it if you wanted
Do
to.
I have to like squeeze in, or can I just comfortably just go in?
You can hop in.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll just go in.
Okay. Well, let me just do something here. Okay. You find a handful of coins in a little pouch. You could probably just pick it up with your beak.
Good.
There's also a brass ring that's lying like in the hollow right next to the coins.
So maybe could I pick up the ring with my claw?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then hold the peg with my beak.
I think that's plausible.
That's what I'll try to do.
Okay. You find that you cannot lift the ring with your claws, and you can tell like you should be able to. Like it's not just your bird strength failing you. So something's odd about the ring. You've got a firm hold on the little coin pouch, but the ring is like not even budging.
I'll put the bag down for a second, and I'll try to pick it up with my beak.
Okay. A similar sensation. As much as you strain your beak,
Can I
it
do
does
the
not.
equivalent of like putting it on?
No, I don't see how that's possible in your current situation. Because like I could see like if you wanted to like kind of let it fall over the top of your head, but you can't get it off the ground like at all.
If there's anything I can do. My wisdom is failing me, so I'll just pick up the coins
Okay.
and
Yeah.
fly out.
I mean that's a shiny piece of loot, so it's definitely something.
So I'll just fly back to camp if I can.
You do so. You're back at camp. Everybody go to bed for the night?
Mm-hmm.
Murd automatically does.
He went to bed in real life.
Okay. The dawn rises. You have all done a rest. So if you still have HP to recover, you can recover up to half of your max HP. It looks like a day of rain ahead.
Well, we have directions to this wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds lead the way again.
no one opposes the no one opposes heading to the wizard.
I did not. I think most of us agreed with it, right?
Okay. Yeah, so
Plus, I don't know. I missed. Obviously, I just got back. But plus, if you can make a chest that opens a ton of times and things actually like become real, that's pretty sweet.
What?
Oh, did you guys not hear about any of that?
Did.
Did I not tell you that? Well, now I have. He made the bandits a chest, and every time it opened, something would come out of it, and the chest after a day faded away, but the items that came out are still there.
so sounds like a legitimate wizard.
Yep. Quite.
Where did this come from?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Thomas.
Let's just go.
Okay.
Mark just came back from bed and he's just dropping knowledge about it. Like a magic chest that the bandits had.
Yeah, this
Oh,
literally happened.
Ziggy
like
dropped this knowledge 5 minutes
and
ago.
I'm just reiterating.
Yeah.
I'm just reiterating it.
Yep. All right. Well, it sounds like Mac is going to be the chief navigator while you guys are traveling through the wilderness. Mac, this is going to be modified a little bit for today's journey by two factors. There's a steady rain obscuring visibility and just making the travel in general a little bit more miserable. And two, you have a little map to interpret as well to take you to a specific destination. So this is going to affect the roll, and I'm going to ask you to make a decision from the get-go here.
Okay. Do you want me to roll first or do the decision?
Okay, so basically, you're going to be undertaking this journey at a -1 penalty to what it'd normally be. So if your bonus was +2, it would only be +1 in this instance. However, with the map, do you want to prioritize trying to follow the map to the strictest degree, or would you and risk getting lost and losing your bearings for future journeys if it doesn't go well? Or are you prioritizing kind of keeping your bearings, and if it's favorable, you'll follow the conditions, or if not, you'll just kind of strike a true path north? So what do you want to prioritize?
I'll mark where we walk.
Okay. So you want to prevent getting lost if possible. Or are you just saying you want to follow the map, but you're going to take this precaution of making little marks in the ground?
I'll follow the map and make marks.
Okay. That is an acceptable answer. Go ahead and do your journey roll. And that you're going to need 2d6.
You want me to roll just one more?
Yeah, I meant like your bonus was one less, not rolling one less die.
I know, I wasn't rolling with the bonus. But that's a 7.
Okay. So what would your wisdom normally be?
It's a +1, but due to the
Okay.
minus.
So yeah. So it is just a 7. Okay. It's a long, miserable day of traveling, but you encounter no danger. However, in order to keep warm, to keep dry, and to just maintain your journey, you're going to end up expending an extra supply today. So you're going to, so you use 2 supplies in the traveling today.
I've only got 1 left that I can exhaust.
I mean, as a party, it's going to require 2 supplies to be used.
I will lose one of mine.
Okay.
Or my one.
Yep. So there is good news, though. As the sun is setting, the weather is clearing, and you see a grand pavilioned tent up ahead. And there's even a large banner in colorful script that seems to have stayed dry enough or has recently been put out as the rain ended, advertising for Ancano the Magnificent. So it seems like you've found the wizard.
All right.
Excellent. Good leading, Mac.
Yep.
Well, shall we enter?
Now, before we go in, are we all volunteering for his experiment? Or just John?
Well, you can do whatever you like.
I'll just watch.
Okay. Do you approach the tent?
I do.
Okay. When you get about 8 paces from the front, you see that a bell starts ringing that's hanging from a little cord near the door. And a few moments later, a older man in a deep midnight blue robe, flecked with little gold stars, comes out. He's got a magnificent silver beard and long hair to match as well. He has a hood, but it is lowered right now, so it's you can see him just fine. Or raised. I always kind of get those mixed, but he doesn't have his hood up right now. And he glances at your party and says, "Oh, it seems my advertising is paying off. hopefully you are here to receive payment and contribute to the great field of science.
Well, that's what I came for.
Excellent. He says, "Oh, hopefully some of your companions have shared enthusiasm. I have need of as many subjects as I can persuade."
Well, I think they're on the fence until I go
Yes,
through it.
a logical position to maintain. I cannot say I blame them. Well, sir, um, then let us very quickly discuss my first proposition for you. I have an artifact that behaves very strangely when creatures come near it. I believe I have stabilized the item itself as to only confer benefits to those who would approach. However, it has been 11 days since my last subject was exposed to the item, and I am in need of fresh observations. So this would be just a very simple venturing forward and seeing what happens. Again, I have applied my arcane arts to make it as safe as possible, and should it not be strictly beneficial, I do have coins to compensate you for your troubles, for any minor side effects that might happen.
Well, what happened to the last guy?
He went on his way. I won't lie to you. He aged considerably.
Well, it's not a big concern, I suppose, with the world about to end.
And I can nearly guarantee that nothing so drastic should occur to you, sir. As I have said, I have applied my arcane arts.
Well, I've lived a very simple life. I'm looking to experiment myself a little bit, so fire it up.
Wonderful. Good sir, please step in the tent after me, and your fellows can just wait outside for the moment.
All right, I'll give them a wave.
Okay. Ancano lifts the tent up a bit so that you both can pass under the little entryway without brushing your head against the ceiling. And you see inside of this tent, it actually seems a bit larger in here than it does from the outside, which is curious, as it didn't look small by any means from the outside. But the interior is very comfortably furnished. You step onto a very thick plush carpeting, feels very fine on your feet underneath.
Very nice.
There's tapestries hanging on the walls, incense and dimmed lanterns providing a comfortable lighting to the whole area. And in the middle of the tent, you see there's kind of a cleared space for perhaps some of the experiments of the wizard. And in the very center, you see a cracked hourglass leaning on its side with pellets of sand like levitating and moving up and down near the breach of the hourglass.
Well, I'll be damned.
Now, yes, this is the item I mentioned. It's a most curious device. All I would ask you to do is to approach it, grab hold, and set it upright properly on either side. You can see, because it's been kind of leaned over, that the sand's kind of divided pretty evenly between the two like vessels, and there is the cracked one that's kind of like leaking out the sand in this strange fashion. But the wizard says that all it needs is a little manual correction from a sure hand, and if that does in fact repair the artifact, or at least get him into a position where it's stable enough for him to make use of it, that would be absolutely splendid. So I encourage you, sir, once you've steeled yourself, to go forth and reposition the hourglass.
I think I can manage it.
Okay. Do you attempt to do so, John?
No, I
Okay.
do so.
There, that's the spirit. Okay. So, uh, if you roll anything but snake eyes or 2 6s, you will become a clock mage by doing this. So let's see what you roll.
Oh shit!
Oh,
So excited.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, it's huge.
All right. John,
Right in the middle.
Yep. You approach the hourglass. As your hands get nearer, it feels like they're like going like underwater. Like there's definitely a heavy quality to the air surrounding it. And you do notice those little like grains of sand seem to just pass right through your flesh, like unaffected by your hand being there. But you do as the wizard requests. You simply just grab hold of it and set it onto one side. And upon doing so, a visible pulse shoots throughout the entire tent. Um, you guys see from the outside like this huge like gust of wind shoots out, and like the walls of the tent are billowing. And John, you feel this tremendous sensation pass through your body. Um, you feel both out of breath and fast asleep at the same time, and pretty much all extremity of sensations and emotions just kind of pool together in one instant and then pass within yourself. And you find that you have been changed fundamentally by handling this artifact.
Wow.
So, yep, you can. I know you've been studying and should be familiar with the clock mage character sheet.
Yeah.
Can you relink it to me as well? You can either do
Sure.
that in the general chat or wherever. Yes. Take a look at this. Okay. We're going to exclude aging backwards for your flow of time choice.
Yeah, I was gonna pick stop
Yep.
clock.
Okay, perfect. I was going to give you your choice of those two. So, John, you just we'll say like over the next few days, you'll become more sure of the stopped clock as far as what's happened to you. But
Okay.
for now, you kind of have the inkling that
Well, I was also gonna
yeah.
pick for an advanced move, Eternal
Yeah.
Vigil.
Okay,
You don't need to eat, drink, or sleep.
which makes a lot of sense if you're stuck in time.
When you take watch, the night passes in an instant, and anything coming arrives in the morning after everyone is fully rested.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And again, makes a lot of sense with the out of time thing that you indeed would, or the stop clock where you indeed would not need to eat or drink when you're perfect frozen in time like
That's
that.
right.
So, cool. All right. Yep, and set your character up as needed. But I'm sure you've got most of your selections already set up. So
I
yeah.
like this this thing for look. I like ticking heartbeat. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So like, if somebody gets close enough to
They
you,
can hear this like
they'll hear the
audible
ticking.
clockwork ticking.
I like that. I like that. Well, the Ancano recovers from the shockwave, and he comes over and says, "You've done it." And you can notice that, in fact, the hourglass's crack has been sealed, and the strange sensation that was like in the aura around the hourglass, you don't feel anymore. And he very carefully picks it up, and you see him looking at it closely. He says, "Perfect, perfect. You have done me a service, sir. How do you feel?"
I feel pretty different, Doc.
Hopefully, not in an adverse way.
Well, no, I guess I feel as good as I've ever felt.
Well, still, for your trouble, he hands you a healing potion. He
Ooh.
says, if you ever do find yourself feeling unwell, I do encourage you to have this. It should assist with just about any malady, injury, etc. And he hands it to you.
Thank you kindly.
Yep. A healing potion is in the valuable piece of loot category. Now,
Very nice.
I can imagine you may want to take a moment and relax after going through such an experience. But please, if you do feel so inclined, let your fellows know that there's nothing nefarious about my purposes, and I do have a handful of other experiments for those who are feeling venturous.
Do you have any paper or a journal that I could purchase from you?
Of course. He heads over to a table where you see there are stacks of paper, books, writing implements, and he says, I am still. I think this should just about cover it. I felt you were owed a little bit more compensation. He hands you a 80-page blank journal and a writing tool.
Very nice. I'm picking the drive to chronicle history.
Okay.
Go out of your way to find or witness something historic.
Oh, so that's going to make some of those other rumors probably quite tantalizing for you as well. So
Yeah.
cool. All right. That'll make an interesting combination with the bard who wants to make a grand tale. It's like we've got this storyteller party forming.
Yeah.
All right. So Ancano wishes you well, John.
I'll
And,
shake his hand.
Okay, he gladly accepts it.
I'll head out the tent.
Okay. The rest of the party, I believe, is here waiting for you. None of them whispered me and said they were doing, like, they were burning the tent down.
Yeah,
or
that's
doing
good.
Any of that, yeah.
No, none of that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, gentlemen, it was a interesting experience.
You are okay?
I think I'm better than okay. And he gave me a healing potion. So it has my full recommendation.
What did he do to you?
Just had me touch this weird hourglass. That was it. And it felt good, and that's it.
That sounds pretty cool.
Did you have to pay?
No, he paid me his healing potion.
Ancano does come outside of the tent as if he was listening to the conversation, which he likely was, and says, now, just as you've heard, gentlemen, there are no guarantees in my business. I must always stress that. But I believe I do have something arranged. He counts you all again. Yes, for each of you, should you feel inclined. Which also means, and he has a very slightly devious look, which maybe he just can't help, that he's just kind of chuckling at the prospect. Which also means if some are not inclined, multiple opportunities for those who are venturous. Would anyone like to enter the tent?
I'd like to. I have no problem with that.
Good. And he firmly takes you by the shoulder, Mert, and escorts you into the tent.
All right.
All right.
May
I would prefer it if you didn't. However, I will not refuse you. The only reason I say that is this tent does have special properties, and when things, very rarely, but sometimes, go errant, the tent can contain such side effects to the area itself, and thus no one may be harmed as a bystander for any experiments. So, I've given you my disclaimer, but if you wish to enter inside as well, I will not stop you.
I'll go ahead and enter the tent.
All right. Ragnar, do you follow in after, or are you gonna hang out with John out here?
I would like to take a touch.
So you're gonna come in the tent too?
Yeah.
Okay, all three of you in the tent.
I will stress though that I will leave after Mert touches it.
Okay.
After I see his
Yeah.
ordeal.
And he Ancano clarifies the experiments will not always involve simply touching an artifact. I have a number of processes that need to be verified. I would encourage, since the three of you all seem interested, the one you consider the hardiest of your party to step forward for my next test. The one who is the most hale.
Steps back.
I'm a little meaty.
Good. You will make a perfect experiment. Subject. Please. He takes you over. It's funny. The inside of this tent has like all this, like I said, there's like plush carpeting and tapestries on the wall. There's this curious little spot of the tent that has like a stone floor, and you see like the walls around it. He's got like kind of like these little. It's propped up with like flame retardant materials. Would you stand right there, sir? Ragnar, do you stand on the stone block within the tent?
Yes.
Okay. He says, now if there's anything you can do to brace yourself, I would encourage it. This might sting a bit.
Only if I turn into an animal.
Do you?
Trying to picture which one. I guess I'll like turn into a wolf.
Okay.
With advantage con.
All right. He says, this might be the very thing that was missing from my previous attempts. What is your max H? Oh, are you just rolling con?
Or that was just the shapeshift roll.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So
Okay, got it. Thomas, what is your maximum HP?
16.
All right. You see him kind of, he's like gesticulating with his fingers. He's chanting something. And suddenly you see like this strange wave-like energy pulse from his hands and hit your body. You said you have 16 health?
Yeah.
All right, you are at 1 hit point. And at this point, I need you to do a con roll. So you have advantage, which means you drop the lowest. Oh, excellent.
Oh my gosh.
All right. He says, now just hold on, hold on. And you see the energy that he shot at you. Like, it starts like floating off of your skin and it changes to like this more radiant color. So it's like kind of like this trembling golden wave surrounding your body. And not only are you restored to maximum HP, but you gain an additional 4 max hit points permanently.
Nice.
If you had rolled a 7 or lower, you would have died. So I'm glad you like
Oh
the
my
con
God.
advantage. The con advantage was huge.
How much did he get? I missed.
An
the number.
8 or 9 means that you would lose a little bit of max HP, and 10 or higher, you get a bonus, and then it scales up based on how much you went over. So your 13 roll was outstanding. So Very
Ask-
dangerous for anyone, but there. How do you feel now, good sir?
Amazing.
Yes.
My face never felt bigger.
And I think you say this while you're in your wolf form.
Well, he
I-
barks
I-
as if
I-
to say.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So eventually, when you come out of that form, you can relate that to him. But
Okay.
he says, yes, you were the perfect subject for such a thing. I needed someone of hardy constitution, and now I know precisely the mechanics of this spell that I've been working on. Wonderful.
Glad
Yes.
that I could help.
Mm-hmm. He gives you a handful of coins, so he gives you a shiny piece of loot.
I'm gonna ask him. Do you mind if I ask your origin?
I would. Let's save that for later. I want to stay focused on the business at hand for now. I don't want to sound rude, but I've gotten very excited with this rapid succession of successful experiments. And so, if you would indulge me, would you like to go next?
I'm good. I'll walk out of the tent and
Okay.
start on the back while I leave.
All right. But you remain, Mert.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good friend, do you feel comfortable with riddles?
Yes.
Excellent. There's he lowers his voice and he says, there's a particular djinn that I've managed to trap. He's a bit feisty, but he is he's very hung up on riddles, you see. And in order to appease him, one needs to enter his plane and engage with him. I believe he will ask you 3 riddles.
Okay.
I must be frank with you, sir, as I am a professional. I have sent one to speak with the djinn, and he has never returned.
All right.
However, I believe you will not suffer such a fate even if you were to answer just one of the riddles successfully.
Okay.
And
Well.
should you be smart and deft enough to answer all 3 riddles correctly, I think you could expect a great boon. But if I can get you back out of there, if you could just simply report to me about the interaction, that will go a long way in my research, and you will be compensated.
Okay.
All right. He brings you over to not a lamp, but a model ship in a bottle. And he says, this is the realm that the djinn has either created for itself or has somehow been trapped into. I do not know exactly what brought about this particular manifestation. But in you go, and you see him touch you with like his hands like glowing this weird purple color, and then he uncorks the bottle, and you find yourself being sucked inside.
Oh.
Okay, Mert, you have entered into the djinn's plane of existence. You see that you are indeed on the open ocean, aboard not a pirate ship. It looks just more like a fine sailing vessel, like a prince's ship or something of that nature. It looks like more of a boat of luxury than of combat.
Hmm.
And indeed, dressed like a fine sultan, there is a gentleman being fanned by some beautiful like women of the court, and you see there's armed guards flanking the ship on both sides. And he says, another has come before me for entertainment and for the exchanging of riddles. Is this true?
It is true. Yes.
Then welcome, welcome. He sees that you're made comfortable first. You spend about half an hour being brought sumptuous meals and drink.
Hmm. Wonderful.
Okay.
A true bard's
do you,
life.
yeah, do you refuse? Do you refuse any of these?
No, of course not.
Okay. Yeah. You have no idea how time is passing outside of the bottle, but this is
Nope.
what you're experiencing. He says, "It has been some time since one has come before me to engage in this game, and it did not go well for him. So, you seem like a refined gentleman. I wish you luck."
Thank you. I hope I do
Alright.
well.
Mert, you are going to be timed 1 minute for each riddle. In which point you can either remain silent or give an answer to the genie.
So when his time's up, a choice.
Yes. This is his first riddle that he poses to you.
Okay. Let me think about it. Hmm. And you're timing me right now. Obviously.
Yes, I am. Yes.
You're fucked.
Well, it definitely sounds like something. It's like a detail. It's something. I want to say like a globe or a.
You've got 15 seconds.
All right. That's what I will say to him. I'll say a globe.
Okay. He frowns and says, "I do not know what you mean. A globe."
You
But
know, where you see the land, you see all the lands. Or maybe is
if you
that
were
out
to
of
call it,
character?
if you were to call it another name, he
Uh,
leans back.
I guess
What would you
in
say?
D&D terms, there would be no globe. There would be maps, like.
Excellent. A cultural difference, perhaps. You have guessed my first riddle. Behold, my second riddle for you. And he says, "For a bard, I would expect this one might not be so difficult."
Seems like a hint.
All right, you've got 10 seconds, Mert.
I mean, the bard part, I sing, but that doesn't. I sing or I tell stories, so I use my mouth. But I feel like a mouth is not rarely touched.
Uh,
Yep.
That's a minute.
What would
Uh,
silence
the
or okay.
mouth would be what I would say.
Okay. He says, "It is incorrect. Very close. A tongue. The tongue was
Uh,
the answer."
I was thinking of that.
Well, you have failed to guess one, but have submitted one right answer. This will be decisive. my final riddle for you. All right. And here it is, Mert.
I actually got this one pretty good in my own mind, especially
Yep.
very
Well,
well
if
to
you're feeling
the, to the
confident, you should just say the answer with plenty of
yes.
time left.
Well, that's yes. They'd helped very much. They amuse you an entire eve.
Mm-hmm.
For the last, you won't remember me, which is literally how all my dreams are.
The
So I
Jin
will say
smiles.
a dream.
Yes. This was most amusing, and I wish no ill fate upon you. I know that meddlesome wizard is attempting to coax me out, and I will say to his credit, you have fared far better than those who have come to me previously. I suppose I will at least answer his summons when next he calls. And with this, you feel a rushing of air as you're lifted off your feet, and you find yourself suddenly standing in the tent with Ancano.
Okay. Hello
Ah,
again.
well, you've returned. That is
Yes.
better than the last unfortunate fellow who went through into the bottle. What did the Jinn say to you?
Upon my success of 2 out of 3, it definitely pleased him more than that other one had.
Mm.
He of course knows you wish to summon him, and though he doesn't seem to want to, it is very pleasant in there. Um, much eating of fine foods and fanning of fine women.
The Jinn
But
said
he
he would
said
answer if
he
summoned.
would. He would answer if you summon him. Yes.
Oh, good. Typically, that would mean the granting of a single wish, but again, it's a very inexact science dealing with jinns. Nonetheless, you've got me on better footing for my next encounter. They will abide by their word in almost all circumstances, so that is very good to hear. Let me obtain for you a reward, and you see him head to a different part of the tent to start looking through some things. Ah, yes. Hmm. He says, I have, I'll offer you a choice. He brings forth a bow that seems to be of superior quality, of elven make, he claims, from his dealings with one of the nomadic tribes who come in and out of the great forest every now and then. He provided magical healing to one of their tribe members and was given this in exchange. He says, I'm sure it's better than most weapons you would encounter from any even competent blacksmith or Fletcher. That would be one thing I could offer you. Or he finds a gemstone and says that this is no ordinary gemstone. Should you subject it to extreme heat, it will provide a magic shield for you as far as a barrier is concerned that will shrug off all but the most powerful damage for exactly 1 minute's time. I believe with the party that you travel with, you could huddle together so that all of you could be within its protection. I do not know exactly if you would be able to cause harm from within. For example, if you were to throw a projectile or anything of that nature. It may be an absolute force field, as the term is used. But again, I have not used it myself, but am confident of this effect. Should you, again, just briefly expose it to a heat source. But
Wow.
you must choose. I
These-
cannot part with both treasures.
One is very offensive and one is very defensive.
Ah, yes. You
Um,
noticed.
The gemstone, once you've used it, is it
I believe it would be
used?
expended. Yes, you would
Okay.
not be able to get further use out of it.
Okay. Okay. That is an interesting quandary. One
Mm.
that could help for a longer span of time, and one that could help in dire situation.
Yes.
Uh, I will take the bow. I'm comfortable with them, so I will be able to use it efficiently.
He hands it to you with respect, saying, "May you find a worthy archer to entrust this to."
All right. Even though that gemstone sounded very cool.
All right. Um,
Now you
Yeah.
may actually have come up with because I can use bows, but like my ragged bow is pretty much garbage. Like
mhm.
it's gear tags, so you may have to tell me later on what tag or anything.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, if you want to examine it, I can just tell you what it can do, what
Okay.
the bonus is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apart from just looking really beautifully crafted, like having like
course,
little like
course.
leaves in the woodwork and stuff, just clearly of beautiful craftsmanship. But it adds 1 damage to all attacks made with it.
Oh,
So
okay.
equating to doing more damage to like significant or elite targets, or felling perhaps additional smaller targets if you're like in like a mob situation where you're just firing into them. So it's deadlier than even it's deadlier than a common bow, we'll just say that.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
No. And I may have to go check on a kid.
Okay. Well,
So I'll be right back.
yeah. I mean, think that concludes your business with Master Wizard.
It does.
Okay. Well, all of you did very well for yourselves, with very real dangers being an outcome as well. But good work. John, I think, had the most RNG based one, but the Snake Eyes was really bad, and the 12s and a 12 would have been just gaining like a power boost in addition to gaining the class. So yeah, you guys came out. Yeah, you would have turned to ash with the Snake Eyes, so that wouldn't have been good. Like you would have just
No, that
joined
wouldn't have been good.
you would have joined the floating sand pellets outside of the
And then
hours.
he would have brought in Mert to do the experiment again.
Yeah, just keep funneling and then until yeah, right. So, all right. You guys, Ankano says, since it is late, I would be willing to allow you to camp upon the premises. In fact, he conjures some supplies so that to make camp you will not need to expend supplies in this instance if you want to camp by the wizard.
I don't feel that tired.
John's ready to travel eternally. at this
Eternally,
point.
man.
Yeah, that's great.
See the whole world.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing to say you guys can't strike out right now. You will, of course, expend supplies each day just for making the journey, but yeah, that would be 1 less if you decide not to camp tonight. Oh, but he's covering it if you camp.
Well,
Then of course you'll need to decide where to next.
I mean, if they want to rest, I'll keep
Mhm.
watch, and I'll just start writing
Yeah.
in my journal.
I mean, this is an instance where it won't cost you supplies to make camp, so it's pretty pretty free.
I'll rest.
Okay. Then, yeah, you guys, you don't notice anything in your watch, John.
It passes in an instant.
Yep. And in that instant, all is well.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. I'll never notice anything because it would all
Right.
anything that would happen
Okay.
happens in the morning.
Yep. Well, nothing is here in the morning.
There we go.
We'll put it that way.
Left
And
in
it
the
looks
store.
like Ancano is actually going to be packing up and going elsewhere. But he says, should our paths cross again, I would welcome the encounter. You seem like a particularly fateful group, and I'm sure your destiny will be very great indeed. He gives you a polite bow, and his tent all fits within a little backpack on his back, and you see him just kind of start walking away humbly with his with a walking stick.
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay, I want to slap Mert.
Nice. Engage battle. Yep.
And then I want to use rewind to
Okay.
reset that. Just like it's an experiment.
But then it doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah. So he comes up to you, smacks you across the face. Doesn't do any damage, but it's certainly a grievous insult.
What the heck, John?
Then you'll rewind time.
Yeah.
So does that cost tick?
Cost talk.
Okay.
Fuck.
So yeah.
So
I'll
you
be
pull
keeping
back
track of
time a
that.
moment to take back a single thing you did or said. And it's done.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
I just could do that all day.
Wow.
But
Just beat your
would
ass, Mert.
Well, you only have so much tox. Though,
Right, I have to spend tick, but I can just time skip, which I guess I would do now as an experiment. I'll just
Okay.
move like 40 feet ahead.
Okay, you guys see John just materialize a little ways away.
So you've spent both your tick and your tox then of the day.
No, whenever I spend tick, I get an equal amount of talk. Whenever I spend
Oh,
talk, I
that's
get an
right.
equal amount of tick.
Yep. So it's an oscillating pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're out of.
Which I would implement.
Now I'm back to tick and talk.
Yeah. Which, if it's ever used in a really abusive way, I'd implement some sort of like increasing global cooldown. But if I never see it being used in like a super ridiculous way, I won't ever see the need to introduce that. So, yeah. All right. Well, you guys have your rumors still. Is there a destination you have in mind for your next stop?
Well, we
I
were gonna
know
go to
that-
that tower with the sword.
Yeah. Does that still sound good?
I'm up for-
Oh yeah, 'cause that's in the north area where we were already, right?
We should have asked Ancano about that.
Yeah, we should ask Encano about the tower.
But
Flashback.
yeah, sure, you could spend what would it be,
Rewind.
talk?
I could, yes.
Yeah. Okay. He's like not as far away, and he says, "What's that you said?"
We
A
heard tale of a tower around here with a magical sword.
Oh yes. And from my understanding, you are not the only ones to have heard of such a thing. Now I pray you have not been beaten to the treasure, if it is there, but I am aware of a tower in the vicinity, so I imagine that must be the place. And he comes over to you, gives you specific verbal instructions. So I'm going to make a note in roll 20 on Kano tower directions plus 1 for next journey roll to tower. So it's highly likely you will proceed straight to there when you guys head out. So he gives you his instructions, bids you farewell.
All right.
And with that, we will end the session. So let us review experience tags here. Okay.
Oh yeah, how does that even work?
Yep. We're gonna be. Well, I mean, we did it. We did distribute XP last session. Okay. So hopefully it. Okay. I'm looking for it in the document. You know what? I should look for it in the book. Maybe it's still bookmarked. It wasn't. End of session. Here we go. All right. Take a look at your bonds. If you want to make a case that you acted upon any of those bonds, is your opportunity.
I should fill in my bonds.
Yeah, you could make your bonds. So we'll.
Well, I was with the bard or with the bandits. My bond or my what's the thing called? Not bond. The other thing.
Your drive.
Your drive.
Drive was diplomacy, so that's why I bought the bottle of wine, so that
Yeah.
instead of having any sort of bloodshed, I tried to.
Yeah, you deliberately looked for a diplomatic solution. Okay, I'd say that's been satisfied. Everyone can get 2 XP for leaving Haven. Everyone can get the XP for learning something new and important about the world. Everyone can get XP for overcoming a notable enemy, as the bandit camp was overcame. It just wasn't overcame with combat. And let's see, memorable treasure. I think unfortunately this session only. Oh, I suppose it says a group. So yeah, everyone mark memorable treasure as well.
Nice.
So that's at least, yeah, that's 5 corporate XP for everybody, and then whatever your individual. Again, asking about bonds and your drive and that sort of thing.
I don't think I've gone out of my way to find or witness something historic yet.
Nope, not yet. So.
Okay.
What is actual leveling in this system?
John Smith requires my guidance. Did I guide him to his fate as an experimentee?
If you would have went before him, I think you could make a case for that.
Went for him?
Before him.
Oh.
Into the tent. Because you weren't the party guide either, like guiding him to the tent itself. So I don't know if you can make a claim for that.
I can make a claim for that, but with Mert.
Okay.
I guess which of you have I guided before I've guided Mert?
You did yeah. Go ahead and mark that XP realm.
Where in the handbook is it? I've been searching and I can't find it.
Well, I'm looking at page 76 of that main book.
Well,
76, okay.
Yeah, the main dungeon world.
Yeah.
Book.
Unlimited Dungeon says, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved, completely explored, no longer relevant or otherwise. Ask the player the character you have if they agree. If you do, mark XP and write a new bond.
Right. So yeah, that's true. If you're claiming bond XP, it's a two-way agreement, and then you can draft a new one.
I mean, Bond. John
Bonds
Smith.
are always like the trickiest thing because it's like
Yeah,
one of my bond
That's
is
why
I know
still,
all about someone's past, and it's like, when does that become resolved?
yeah.
When you stop knowing what's past.
When they die.
Like-
Yeah.
Well, I could see that as taking time in the session to like stop and talk to them about like, now when you were doing this, and then you have a conversation with them about it, and
So
then
when it becomes relevant.
yeah, but you can, like I'm saying, you could try and facilitate that. Just you could ask them about it whenever, really, if you can just find a reason to tie it in. So
I guess.
I mean, I'm not telling you guys to just like each session be looking at your bonds and be like, when can I spring this? But I am saying that a little bit, if as far as when you want to cash in on that. But I know the bonds are tricky, and that's why I give like the blanket milestone XP too, so that you can eventually level up. So yeah,
All
that's
right.
why you get the 2 for leaving Haven as
Whose
well.
past do I know about?
And honestly, I could see this happening where like when you touch the hourglass, you just saw like
That's what I
this
was
vision.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's temporal insight.
I'll leave that entirely up to you. They have no choice in the matter. You're gonna know about it.
I like the idea that when you slapped me and you kept wanting to do it over and over, you saw some part of my past.
Okay, that sounds good. I know all about
I-
Mert's past.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but I know it.
Some of it you may not want. Yep.
Let's see. I think Mac will play an important role in future events.
Okay. Once he clutches the magic sword that
That's right.
he hunts, yeah. The
And
master sword.
I have trouble understanding Ragnar, especially when he's a
Sometimes-
horse.
Yeah, and even sometimes when he's in human form, you just hear him barking at you and shit like that.
Yeah,
It's funny.
he's an oddity.
I have to do something extremely eloquent in the next session.
That'll be
Cool.
tricky.
Yeah.
And I could also resolve Mert dismisses me as a primitive.
You'll never resolve that. Only when he's dead will that be resolved.
Yeah. Okay. So again, real quick from the XP standpoint. So you guys at the minimum got 5 XP this session. That was like the corporate XP I was talking about. Plus the things we just discussed. And then last session, hopefully somebody marked how much XP you got from last session somewhere.
Yeah, I gotten 3 because
Okay, that sounds about right.
Plus the alignment 1.
Yeah, so you guys, I think you're getting pretty close to leveling up. It is slower in Dungeon World, obviously.
Well,
And,
I'm at either 9 or 10 XP if
Yeah.
bonds count.
which
and
would actually be a level up then.
Yeah, it's your level plus 7.
No,
Right.
that's the
And
old
then-
one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. Well,
the new
again, your thing doesn't say it, so.
It does. Current level plus 10.
Okay. So you're very close, Mert.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm at 9, but I think the John Smith bond that I have.
Which one was that? Because
Well,
I'll
I have.
make a
Which of
ruling
you
on
is the subject? Which of the others is the subject of my next masterpiece? Is John Smith. So I've been already like
That's true.
weaving that, but that would only
And-
get me to 10, which is still one
Yeah.
short of.
But I'll let you resolve that bond, sure.
Okay, cool.
Because you've been very adamant about that. There's
Yep,
been no
I
one can
have.
question
even
that.
even with him telling me not to.
Right.
All right. Well, yeah, I am 1 away then from it.
Excellent. Okay.
I will have a question for both of you. Well, Meng, who knows? I actually have Jack of all trades that lets me take a thing from another kit.
You have it, or you
No,
wanna
I
have
could.
it. Okay.
Well, Jack of all trades would let me gain a move from another playbook, even a starting move.
Yeah.
So I could take TikTok and slap you back. we could just be in a time loop of slapping each other and rewinding.
I mean, you could take TikTok, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you
I'm
could.
I'm not going to. I'm just saying that it's starting move means like a power like that even. Like
I mean,
Yeah.
and
It's a
in
pretty strong
universe,
choice.
it's kind of humorous to think like
mm-hmm.
the magic of the clock mage rubbed off a little bit from John to you when he
Right.
slapped you. But so I
I
mean,
don't know
if
if
you
it's
want to
like
go
the
for
most effective thing you could take.
Correct.
No.
No, well, because
Because you wouldn't have access to
anybody.
any other time stuff.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, that's why I said it'd be better for me to take it from like something where we're like weak, like some other area of
I'm too weak.
where
Yeah.
where like you know.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
The
you
realm
guys
is
have a
gone for 3 years now. Is that it?
Yes, 3 years.
who said that?
Realm.
Realm.
When did he say that?
Last week. He said he's gone the
June
16th, the 6th and the
16th.
13th.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 3 years. No, I'm gone from.
How many Mondays? Let me ask you that. Just how many
Okay.
Mondays?
Said 2.
So, 2, yeah, the 13th and the one before that, which would be
Okay.
the 5th
Well,
or the 8th, 6th.
yeah. I mean, the way I see it, we have a really good pause point here, because I mean, you guys are going to go in search of the tower with the magic sword, and as long as you keep your character sheet straightened out, I personally wouldn't have a problem doing something else the 2 weeks you're gone.
Well, the other question is, Realm, are you gone like the whole 2 weeks of those 2 weeks? Like, you
He
know what
said
I'm
2
saying?
Mondays he's going to be gone.
Yeah. You understand. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I know what you and I also do in a different. You, me, and Thomas do it, but I'm saying like, is he like he's gone from Monday to like Wednesday? Yeah, the next. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I do.
I'll be gone from Monday to Friday both weeks.
okay, okay.
Yep.
But I do have some plans on like the 12th and whatnot.
It's looking like Realm's going to just be gone for 2 weeks. So
Okay.
we can
Well, that
air that
doesn't-
out a bit
eventually.
more as far as how we'll proceed, but I usually prefer to make any accommodations for players when our group is this small. It can be really hard to come back when parties move forward. So
Especially 2 weeks worth of stuff.
yeah,
So we're not playing then until the 20th.
yeah, and so that's just this dungeon world campaign specifically. Could still do, other RPGs or online board games, but yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
we'll mull it over. But good session.
Okay.
All right. Sounds
Yeah.
good, guys.
Adios.
See you guys. Stay safe.
See ya.
Night.